Hello, and welcome to part 11 of Povop City on Skylines II. Now today our city as a whole is looking pretty great with very few problems, but there are still problems, and the biggest one is garbage over here in our new district. So we have some more investing to do in the area, which means even more loans, and another land tile to purchase, some more grid expansion, and with our much larger grid down, we can finally build our landfill. And honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about the landfill being here. Wind does blow in this direction, which is bad, meaning that all over here is going to get polluted. So I think it is a much better idea to shrink this area, add a new road, and move our landfill. And now all of our polluting surfaces are in one spot. And now so we can keep travel throughout the city through these internal bike lanes, it's time to expand them through. And this should be plenty of bike infrastructure for now, which leaves us with mail and lots of space to start zoning. It's additionally time to expand the district. And of course we have to continue to add homes. After zoning for ages and making lots of money, and also growing the city a ton, we still have a couple of problems. First off, a building has burned down, which is very not good. For now though, the solution will be getting rid of it and allowing it to rebuild. The second problem is that our landfill is full. Once again, also a major problem. Luckily, there is a solution that I have to fix both of these problems, but it will require a bit more of a loan, which is actually going to max out our loan and also our interest rate, and also require the purchase of these 5 tiles. Although very expensive, we will reap the benefits of these tiles eventually. For now though, we are going to expand this expressway. And with this last road place, all of our city is finally connected, which should allow us to empty this landfill. And also I am noticing that we have a lot of money, so I'm going to pay off a lot of our loan. And now what we can do, now that we have access to bus depots, is create a bus line through the city. And because there's loads of bus traffic on this lane, we are going to upgrade it to a 3-lane asymmetrical. And then we'll upgrade it with a dedicated bus lane. And now I'd like to make the tickets free. Additionally, I'd like to change the color to a nicer red. And now, especially in this tile, it's time to capitalize on what we spent. And just so we can share electric better, I am going to add lights along this whole road. And now we can see we are exporting much more electricity. And with our coal industry laid out better, we can now support our own power plants domestically. And as I've done before, in this area I would like to encourage cycling, just because there are so many bike paths. Additionally, just because of how much traffic there is in the area, I would like to try to lay out a train track going this way. And there we go, that's the train station built along with a parking lot. Whether it be people coming from over here who find it easier to drive here, or from people coming from further looking to hitch a ride over here. And here we can see the reason for building the train station. There is an absolutely crazy traffic backup, just because this is a small road connecting a very large area to the rest of our city. Now though, we can finally create our route. And with the ticket price reduced and the color of the train changed, we have now gotten ourselves a very solid transportation hub. Additionally, I would like to add this upgrade as it adds more comfort to the train station, meaning more people will use it. Additionally, we have run out of trains, and I think I know the perfect spot for a new depot. And there we go, we have finished this area. And as we can see, our first train is arriving towards the station, but it seems very few people are going to be using this train. Something else I want to do is make sure people can't park on these roads. And as you can see, people are already starting to use this parking lot. And with a lot more trees, we can make the area look much nicer. And there we go, our train system is complete for over here. And as we can see, our coal mining areas are producing lots and lots of coal, about 220 tons combined. What we have here is a lovely comment from Urban Builder 957. Using the best grammar he could, he told me, please build somewhere a football stadium. And I'm willing to do it, even though it's a little out of place because it's a European city, but hey, I think it could work out if we do it right. So I'll get that done for you. So seeing as it's part 12, I'm gonna respond in the nicest and least sarcastic way I can. So now, because we're giving Urban Builder 957 a say in the city, he's making me spend my development points on sports parks and large sports parks. Not only that, he's making me spend $160,000 on a football field. And additionally, because Urban Builder 957 requested it, we have to make it immaculate. So to do that, that means we have to take out a loan, buy this map tile, and then start leveling the area out. And now we can place down our football field. And this is looking pretty spiffy if I do say so myself. But of course we cannot just leave it here. We have to give it its necessary services, and then what we'll do is add a bus stop. And of course we'll make the tickets free and assign a couple less vehicles. We'll make it turf green, and now we have an American football field, just like Urban Builder 957 requested. I'm also seeing a problem over here that there are not enough vehicles. Taking a pause on that, I do have a request for Urban Builder 957, and that request is to build a soccer field somewhere inside of your city. Whichever one you want. I know you have a couple going, but I saw a nice City Skylines II one, and I think it would fit in pretty nicely. Which means it is time to increase the transportation budget. And also, just checking on this line itself, I am seeing that there are so many people trying to use it. So of course we are going to add more buses. And going through all of our lines, I do want to make sure we balance buses, making sure we don't have too many or too little. And I would like to create another bus line right in front of the train station. We can make the tickets free and also change the color to be more similar to the train. And by the way, I think this is such a great spot for this American football field just because it makes sense to have it over here. The city is super dense and land over here is going to be expensive, so wasting it on a football field would not be smart. And with the whole football field out of the way, I want to look towards adding more to our city. So to do that, I'd like to take out another loan. And after taking out the loan, we still cannot afford any of the high schools that would matter, which means it's a waiting game. And now we can barely afford our high school, so we will build it over here. And now we will assign it an operating district to over here. And after seeing these numbers for time to graduate and dropout rate, it is time to increase the budget for education and research again. And we should continue to develop and add more buildings. Right now I'm noticing two major issues, both healthcare and with a ton of buildings burning down. Now, we are losing a ton of money, and I think that is because so many people are waiting for ambulances and not getting healthcare. So we'll increase the budget so that there are more ambulances, and hopefully that will lead to us getting our tax money back. In the meantime, we will bulldoze demolished houses. And as we can see, our plan worked. There's less people waiting for ambulances, and our income is back. But because it is still so low, we will have to add more buildings to make up for that gap. Checking on our bus lines, we can see that they are pretty much fully used, so I am going to add a couple more buses. In all seriousness though, we do have to do something with this area, and something I'm considering is to put a port here. Definitely not now, as we cannot afford it, nor the land tiles to get over here or to align, but I do want to use development points to see how wide this is and how much space we would need. And if we're very careful, I think we can get a very helpful line through here, just by expanding the size of the river a little bit. And over here I'm noticing we are having a pretty terrible traffic problem, so hopefully a larger roundabout is the solution. It is still not functioning as well as I would like, so I am going to make a larger change. And hopefully this will solve the problem. But we do have to re-add our lights. And I do just want to double check that there are lights all along this highway. And because there's a major traffic jam over here, I am going to add a slip lane. And as we can see, that is our traffic problem fixed. For now though, I am going to develop in this area. Now I think I know what I want to use this area for, and that's going to be service buildings, which means we do have to lay out a road over here, and then relocate our buildings. And while we're dealing with our city services, I do want to get rid of the landfill. But if I'm honest, I think a lot better can be done for this area, but I don't think that really can be done while this is still a problem, so let's fix that. And there we go. This should allow people to pass so that when there is construction or repairs going on to the road, you can pass the slower vehicle and then get in front of them. And it switches so that it doesn't take up quite as much space. Now there's a problem over here where the train tracks are interfering with it, so I'm going to have to redo this. And there we go. That is problem solved for traffic, which means we can now look towards developing all over here. I still do think this area is best suited for government services, pretty much all except our historical post office. I do think in the future though it would make sense to put the high school and elementary school over there too, but that's not going to be a now problem because that's when they are both going to have to get upgraded anyways and probably have another one built somewhere else. So the first new building we'll build on this island is going to be some sort of healthcare clinic. And I think what we'll actually do is take our clinic from over here and just move it. But first we have to develop the area a little bit more. With our grid complete, we can now move it over. But now this area doesn't have its medical service. So what I'm gonna do now is research the hospital, and then I'll realize that I can't afford any of the hospital. So for now, this hospital is going to have to do the job. At this point though, I would like to adjust the district lines. And now I'm going to assign services to districts. Also, I'm going to move this medical clinic to over here. And then I'll assign it over here too. And I'll assign this medical clinic here, and that should be the problem solved for now. Except over here, we're now seeing a problem with ambulances not arriving, and these ambulances are almost maxed out. So really, we do have to build another hospital. And then we'll assign it its district and remove both of these districts, just because there are places out of the district that need service too. The second service I would like to add over here is going to be a telecom tower. And as we can see, almost everywhere we've developed has coverage, just except for over here. I do also think over here is much more fitting to have our small cemetery. Also, just because the hospital's a little bit out of the way, I'm going to add 2 parking lots and also make them free. And of course, complete the area with a bit of trees. And it also seems we have spent all of our money on trees. So instead, we'll now spend a little on bus infrastructure. And with the extra bus stop added for the hospital, I think that's a pretty good use of a stop. Also, we can see in action our plan for passing working, which I'm very glad about. And after a little work, I think the area will look much nicer, especially once we put a couple of homes. And with all these houses zoned in, I think the area looks pretty nice. And with a couple more amenities, I think it will be even better. And there we go, we added another stop, made the route more clear, and also added a couple more houses. Now though, there is more office demand, and I don't want to completely abandon the people over here, so we are going to do a bit of rezoning towards high density. Now I don't want to get rid of all of the low density just because I do like how it looks, and also realistically, you'd be blocking a lot of great views, which in real life would probably be something taken into account for the resident. On the other hand, over here we have pretty much free range, and we did just get rid of a building over here. So with a little bit of work and flattening out, and apparently flushing out 2 buildings here, we can regret moving and destroying these 2 buildings because it is sort of out of the way, and instead look at the areas with actual amenities. And honestly, I'm going to try to place, I guess not here actually, but I would like to eventually try to place 1 French building. And actually, we can do that right here. Something I'm glad about, though, is that even though the city has been connected to the rest of our city, we're still really not seeing a ton of cars. I mean, not even all of the street parking is occupied. And while that might be just because people are poor, it very well also might be because there is just plenty of public transport. And I am really liking this UK terrace housing, so I will probably continue to build it in other areas. But for now, we have plenty of money, and I would like to start paying back our loans, as that will knock off lots of interest. And what I would actually like to do right now is buy this tile and actually lay the groundwork for a highway. And while I was building the intersection, we have unlocked a new milestone. That is milestone 11 of Big City, which gives us plenty of money, some development points, and some land tiles we can buy. Instantly, I'm putting $500,000 into our loan, and now I'll just finish the highway intersection. There we go. This is our intersection complete once we just add a roundabout here. Now we can make it look much better with a little terraforming. And I think it looks very nice, and in the future is really gonna show to be extremely helpful. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I really appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. In the meantime, have yourself a great day.